Welcome to yet another challenger trying to take on King Luvnest, who has pulled into the lead with 3 challengers defeated. He is now winning Star-Crossed Kings. And Dusty's going to try and knock him off his throne. Challenger number 4, Dusty playing as Soviets with shock, rifle, mechanized support, and guard motor against Luvnest's Lightning War, Storm Doctrine, and Mobile Defense. He keeps changing up his loadout. Storm Doctrine, very interesting. No close air support and no mechanized assault in Luvnest's loadout this game. Very interesting choice. So we might see some ambush camouflage or regal mines or an LEFH, who knows? Dusty has gone with a 2 conscript opening. Luvnest going with 2 grenadier opening. Looks like a pretty standard Faymanville opening with the piles throwing down the good old-fashioned barbed wire right there. Grenadiers making their way towards the strategic point right here. Second squad of Grenadiers as well. Combat Engineers heading north while Dusty goes hard south with both conscript squads.
It's ready to use. Ready to the fatherland.
Grenadiers making their way towards this middle house. Barbed wire constructed on some of this. What is this anyway? It's like a cart full of hay, I guess. Okay. Grenadiers in the house engaging against conscripts initially. Looks like they're off to a pretty good start in that engagement. Not really sure who wins that, honestly. Are already going to see a fresh squad of combat engineers coming out. Interesting. Guess he wants the potential for another early flamethrower, or maybe I don't know, maybe that's, I don't know. Just getting combat engineers as his 4th unit. Conscripts circling around this building. Grenadiers falling a little low. I'm about to drop their first model here. Combat engineers working on the fuel over here on the right side. Grenadiers and Pios moving to push them off. They will get the point decaptured before entering this building to try and stall for a little while, maybe try and do a little damage where they can. Hoorahing around the right side of this building into some more cover, and those Grenadiers have no choice but to get out of there before they start taking serious damage. And there go those Grenadiers. Conscripts move up into into this green cover next, I assume, while this squad works on the Grenadiers here in the fuel. Grenadiers standing behind this plow have yellow cover actually, so they will be able to win easily against those conscripts right there. And these conscripts move up into very short range against Grenadiers on the cutoff, and look like they'll probably be able to win that engagement, although the conscripts are falling quite low. There goes that squad. And there's an M3 from Dusty. I know Dusty loves going tier 1 for the scout car with the flamethrower inside. Flamethrower backpedaling towards the scout car, even against Oster, which is not nearly as good against Oster as it is against Oberkorea West. Although, one thing to keep in mind is Oster generally has to spend a lot of munitions to counter this thing. Often it has to take double Faust or a Teller mine to take it out, whereas OKW can kill it with a shoe mine, which is only 30 munitions compared to, I would say on average 50 munitions to kill one of these as Oster. Although sometimes they can kill it just with 1 Panzerfaust and then small arms fire from there, depending on how well it's being microed. It's gonna go in on these Pios right here. Wow, lucky early crit right there. Bringing the squad pretty low. No Grenadiers anywhere either. S-Mine Field is not going to do anything with those Minesweeper combat engineers cleaning it up. Grenadiers finally arrive to screen and push that M3 back a little bit. We might see that Minesweeper get wiped too. There it goes. Nice wipe by Luvnest, taking out that Minesweeper squad. M3 circles back towards the north. Still 3 conscripts on the field for Dusty and 4 Grenadier opening for Luvnest this game. In addition to his MG42, which he's thrown into the building to cover this fuel in the south. conscript squad has to retreat away from massed grenadiers here on this green cover position. This squad of cons is not likely to be able to do anything by itself. There's guards produced by Dusty next, who has chosen guard motor coordination.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
And they will get into that building. Squad of conscripts heading left to engage against these grenadiers over here on the left as well. Although they're already rather wounded and in red cover, they may not even win that engagement. M3 continues to try and kite grouped grenadiers over here on the right side. He also needs to be a little bit careful of the one remaining S-mine cluster right there. Guards move up to try and snipe some Pyos, and there they go.
The enemy is taking our territory.
And the conscripts over there did lose that engagement against those Grens because they didn't have enough health to safely engage. And they're going to have to heal more next time they make that attempt. Bad engagement there for Dusty, who is falling behind at all locations of the map. With only 3 conscripts on the field, the decision to tech and get an M3 also hurting his infantry numbers a little bit. M3 goes in on a grenadier squad. If he could pick up one wipe with that flamethrower in the M3, he would definitely be in a better position, but it's clearly proving difficult for him to do so far. Just dove into it. 2 grenadiers, but no Faust. No munitions for the Faust from Luvnest, who has chosen Storm Doctrine. Apparently he's comfortable enough with his current lead to go Storm. Interesting choice. Up to 3 CPs, he will have access to ambush camouflage and the Regal Mines. Looks like Luvnest might be a contender for that Coco Jambo award here, depending on what he does for the rest of the series. I've almost never seen Storm Doctrine selected, so this is pretty exciting. MG42 sets up here in the south. MG42 will retreat right there. Grenadiers engaging against conscripts there in the south will be forced to retreat. Conscripts set up on the south fuel also also available to put damage on that grenadier squad. This might be the wipe Dusty's been looking for. Looks like it. There they go. Nice pickup by Dusty. Overextended grenadier squad in the south goes down, and now the infantry numbers are not equalized, but actually quite in Dusty's favor. Luvnest spends a bit of manpower on a tier 2 structure and battle phase tech, and Luvnest continues to throw, or Dusty continues to throw guards on the field. So now Dusty should have a pretty strong infantry advantage. And with 2 squads of guards out, this decision to go 2-2-1 may be very difficult for Luvnest to pull off if he doesn't micro very, very well. Grenade toss on those grenadiers, late dodge. Very late dodge, but they will get away alive. The squad in that house also is going to get forced away, and Dusty is slowly taking control of the entire map. Has the fuel here. About to start working on the victory points, and once they start ticking against Luvnest, it will be quite quick, since it looks like Dusty's going to be able to get a triple cap going very soon. Up until this point, nobody's really lost any victory points. Still pretty close to 500 for both players. MG42 sets up facing west. Pyos move to try and force away that conscript squad, which is quite damaged right now.
Sector under attack.
2-2-1, or Pyos plus MG42 force away the conscripts there in the north. 2-2-1 is on the field, making its way towards the center. M3 just sort of dancing around in the middle, not trying to go in on anything right now. Dusty's waiting for his guards to make it back to the battlefield. He might want to spread them out a little bit though. If he gets caught by that MG42 and both squads are forced to retreat, he might lose a little bit of map control, so he needs to be a little bit careful in that regard. Conscripts engaging against grenadiers here in the south will have to retreat away. They don't have very much health. This squad continues to simply protect this cutoff. Guards jump into the building right here. PTRS will push the scout car away. These guards set up in green cover to engage against those grenadiers. Since they have no LMG, they're probably going to win that engagement over time, especially if any PTRS shots connect. M3 is moving up to push those grenadiers out of cover completely. I think. Maybe he's not sure what he wants to do. Grenade on that squad. Oh man, that late dodge. I feel like Luvnest is getting a little fatigued. A little fatigued. Third series of the day. Some of these grenade dodges are really proving difficult for him. Also, it probably doesn't help that Dusty is Canadian, Luvnest is German. I would imagine that there's probably some lag in this game as well. Minesweeper going to clear up the rest of the S-mines right there. Conscripts force a full retreat from the Pios in the north. Luvnest very much losing control of this game. Panzer Grenadiers on the field now, making their way towards the center. .222 dealing minor damage to the M3, which is trying to circle around looking for opportunities against the .222.
The enemy is attempting to steal our
Minesweeper finishes taking control of the fuel. Squad that was taking control of the munitions skips past it and goes straight for the triple cap here. Clock continues to tick quite quickly against Luvnest. He's going to try and slow things down here in the south with this Grenadier squad. 222 is receiving some repairs in the base. And the third squad of Grenadiers is making its way onto the battlefield. As far as wipes this game, there haven't been that many. 2 Grenadiers wiped is actually kind of a lot, but Dusty I don't think has lost anything. Oh, except for a squad of combat engineers. So, things generally look like they're going in Dusty's favor. Although Luvnest does have more kills.
Supply lines have been cut.
Map control pretty firmly in Dusty's hands, holding both fuel points, both munitions decapped right now. 2 squads heading south to chase away that squad of Grenadiers. And Luvnest doesn't really have any doctrinal options that can help him right now either. No redistribute resources, no Stug E. Just ambush camouflage, which he has not utilized. Has not utilized the Regal Mine or tactic. He hasn't used anything. Because the munitions cost associated with those features is so high. And he spent pretty much all of his munitions on this. And on this. Some S-mines and I think also some rifle grenades. And that squad has to retreat away from the 2 squads here in the south.
The enemy is taking our territory.
Panzer Grenadiers making their way through the middle. MG42 jumps into the building, but Dusty is going to have this triple cap going for at least a little while. Luvnest, make sure there's nothing hiding on the other side of this building while Panzer Grenadiers jump into cover to push away the Minesweeper right there. Conscripts engaging against Pios over here on the right side. Victory Point should easily be able to force that squad to retreat. And there's the retreat from Luvnest. A little on the late side. Panzer Grenadiers engaging against Conscripts in yellow cover right there. 222 moves to try and put pressure on the scout car, but Dusty, of course, always protecting that thing with his guards so that 222 can never get too close. Doing pretty good damage to those Grenadiers, even in cover. M3 moves up to try and get a flame burst. Here comes the Panzerfaust plus autocannon burst, and there goes the M3 finally. Nicely microed by Luvnest. He just pushed a little too far ahead with that M3. And the Panzerfaust plus autocannon combo was enough to take it out. But I don't think that Luvnest is going to be able to hold this line against this flamethrower and 2 squads of guards. Even with the armor-piercing rounds going, this is way too much to take on, and he has to retreat from this engagement or lose that machine gun, which is Vet 2. It'd be a nice thing to have. Meanwhile, nice cutoff maneuver by Luvnest right here with his Panzer Grenadiers and Grenadiers in the house. That'll slow down Dusty's income a little bit, but he has 330 fuel stockpiled, and once his call-ins arrive, it's going to be pretty hard for Luvnest to deal with. Luvnest dodges that grenade right there. Conscripts Ura in short range on those grenadiers, which will be forced to retreat as well. This one squad is falling pretty low. Luvnest has not got a single LMG right now. 31 munitions coming in currently. Not that much. 26. Another grenade with no dodge at all. Fortunately, Dusty placed it a little off, so that grenadier squad gets a free pass.
Our industry grows to support us.
Autocannon trying to destroy this green cover position. Pyos move up to engage against those guards, but they're falling quite low. Will be forced to retreat. Guards trying to force grenadiers from this building. Conscripts forced away from the right side. Fuel by Luvnest. Luvnest also trying to take control of the south munitions with that lone MG. Somehow managing to keep that scout car alive against a double guard build. Grenade toss right there. Luvnest will dodge, get away with no model losses, just a pretty decent amount of damage. And there's the 85s rolling onto the field. This is the point at which Luvnest is probably going to crumble, who has not got a single AT gun at all and has tried to make it to tier 3. These T-34s are probably just going to dive into the base and kill Luvnest, who does not even have the munitions for a Panzerfaust right now. But Dusty doesn't seem to know that, and rather than getting super aggressive into the base, which he totally could, he's just going to drive around to the south, try and force retreats, play safe just in case there are AT guns and teller mines. Flamethrower engaging against those Panzer Grenadiers, gets 2 crits. Guards do a lot of damage too, and the squad immediately has to retreat. T-34s circle back towards the center. Conscripts making their way towards the fuel and strategic points here. T-34s are on their way to push everything off the north. Scout car might be caught a little out of position. All shots missed so far though. T-34s might dive the base here. Damaged engine. 1 Panzerfaust, the only one that Luvnest can even afford. And a Stug is in production. If Luvnest somehow miraculously wins this game, I think he will be a definite contender for the Coco Jumbo Award with Storm Doctrine into a Stug, quick Stug. But I don't know how he's gonna pull this off. T-34 already catches the Stug. Scout car goes down, Stug gets 1 shot off on the T-34, which will pull back to safety. Guards engaging against Grenadiers here in green cover. Another grenade toss from Dusty. Does dodge it just in time. Stug continues to try to deal damage to T-34s where possible. Second T-34 continues to keep Luvnest boxed in on this cutoff. Although it will disengage towards the north to try and wipe those Grenadiers. It doesn't look like it's going to be able to make anything happen. Guards and Flamethrower take this cutoff, and even the strategic point right outside of Luvnest's base is falling. Doesn't seem to be able to get anything anywhere under his control because of his build decisions this game.
Territory.
MG-42 setting up to fire on those conscripts, and there they go. Stug, ooh, destroyed engine, jeez. Second time, really? Second time in 2 games, destroyed engine on a T-34? That might die, there it goes. Stug snipes it because of a destroyed engine crit from a Panzerfaust, which I really hope they remove, because that's so dumb. Pretty bad RNG for Dusty. It may not matter though. It may not matter. It's quite unlikely to matter. Luvnest completely contained right now. T-34 will pull back away from that Stug. Does take a little bit of engine damage, but the Stug cannot safely chase that thing to death. It will pull back behind this building for repairs, and guards will push that Stug away from the damaged T-34. Minesweeper in this building is probably going to have to retreat at some point. Conscript squad right there, also retreating.
200 points. We are losing a sector. Enemy Soldaten! The sector has been cut off. Taking fire!
Luvnest still triple capped. Dusty in the lead with 484 victory points on the board, which means Luvnest is off to a very difficult start this series. Grenade toss on those grenadiers, no dodge, and the squad gets wiped. Conscripts and guards engaging against Panzer grenadiers as well. Seem to be losing. PTRS does snipe one though. This squad of guards pinned by an MG42, and Luvnest will try to slow down his victory point drain with this wounded grenadier squad going straight north. T-34 is fully repaired. Conscript squad providing vision in the house. Here in the south will probably prompt that T-34 to go clean them up. A new set of T-34s is going to be on the field very soon, and Luvnest still has no AT gun. Just one Vet 2 Stug as his only AT right now, and Panzerfausts. And he's just queued up a Panzer IV, so we will have a Panzer IV in addition to his Stug.
We have secured the sector.
Grenadiers retreat from the north, and a Minesweeper and Conscripts are on their way to get that triple cap going again. He is losing control of the center to a squad of Pyos. T-34 is pulled back for further repairs. More squads of infantry also being healed in the base after a second set of T-34s has just gotten called in. And what Dusty does with this second set of T-34s could very likely decide the game.
Einsatzbereit.
We've added to the fatherland. Enemy Panzer! We have a new Panzer IV. Our opponents are seizing a sector. Assault guns standing by.
Stug and Panzer IV on the field now, moving to engage. Setting up in the middle to try and put pressure on these guards. Still no Teller mine anywhere on this battlefield as far as I'm aware. And here comes a flank from Dusty on the Stug. Big hit on the rear armor right there. That does so much damage. Man, the Stug just has no HP. Already dangerously close to being destroyed. PTRS is plinking away at the Panzer IV from the front, deal minor damage, but that squad's going to have to retreat soon too. Here comes a very big push by these T-34s. This could be a decisive engagement if Dusty decides to fully commit, which it looks like he might. T-34s have barely taken a scratch. Huge hits on these tanks from both sides. I don't think Luvnest can possibly hold this line. Those T-34s have barely taken a scratch, and all of Luvnest's armor is cleaned up like it's nothing by those T-34 85s, which are at basically full health. And there it is. Luvnest surrenders. Dusty takes game one with 484 victory points remaining. Let's see if Luvnest can recover in game two.